Hello Capricorn, we're going to do your April Practically Soulful reading. Now, I know we are fast approaching, what are we, week 3? So I'll do a brief on the first 2 weeks of April for you. No doubt you've seen your weeklies. They ideally should marry up to your monthlies. With all this time at home, you think we'd have plenty of time to do these. But when children are involved, it's a different story, Cappy. Not feeling 100% organized. Then again, I have no Capricorn in my chart whatsoever. How's your month been so far? How are you feeling? How are you adapting to being out of your usual routine? Are you okay? Are you finding some things that you can organize at home and feel that you're on top of? Sorting, organizing, structuring, building, growing towards. I'm sure there are many, many Capricorns out there that are making the most of their productivity time at home in these times. Okay, so Practically Soulful, we haven't done one for you yet, just to give you an overbrief. I'm not sure if you've seen the other one. So these are all based essentially on your sun sign, okay? So the sun was in Capricorn when you were born. I encourage everyone to sort of focus their Practically Soulful readings on that part of their zodiac. Just as much as I encourage everyone else, like with their weeklies, is, you know, depending on what you're going through too. So you explore your moon sign if you're struggling to understand your emotions and trying to come to deeper wisdoms on them. You explore your rising sign if you're coming to some understanding about how another might be perceiving you or how you're perceived within an experience, for example. Practical applications. Hey, guys, that's enough. You can explore your Jupiter sign to see how you might work with growth and abundance, for example. You know, there's so much that the zodiac, the natal chart can offer the zodiacs in order to truly understand the multidimensional aspects of themselves. However, with Practically Soulful, because these are primarily intending to deliver soul messages, core messages that you're integrating at this time for the month, I encourage everyone to focus on their sun sign, okay? So we're going to start with a cross, what crosses you and forms the foundations of your energetic experience for the month. We'll divide that up into what I call the 4 quadrants. You might look at that as 4 weeks, sure. We can relay it as 4 weeks. We can also look at it as the 4 other levels of being. So in my healing work, I work with 5 levels of being. We are more than just a physical body. We're an emotional body, a thought body, an energy body, and a soul. And that balance, that working together, that exploration of each of those elements and dimensions within ourselves is all part and parcel of this holistic, deeper understanding of ourselves. So welcome to Practically Soulful. Let's take a look at what might be going. Holy goodness, freedom and abundance. Can it get any better than that? Because beneath all this was the energy of doubt. You are moving away from guilt and you are okay, you know what? I'm going to say, I just pulled that out in reverse. Adversity. I almost 100% would say that I read cards in an upright position, okay, Cappy? But this came up upside down, so I'm going to read that in both ways, okay? The energy of adversity is what you're stepping into now, truly appreciating what we have so that we can avoid any future experiences of adversity. You might be experiencing, because you're in abundance now, okay? And abundance can be experienced in multidimensional levels. It is more than just a material experience of our reality. We can feel an abundance of peace. We can feel an abundance of love and genuine connectivity to our loved ones, you know? We can have an abundance of vitality. You know, there's so many things that our experience and reality can offer us, Cappy, that is more than just money. And I you know, you see it a lot out there. You see it in, I guess, in spiritual communities where there's this focus on abundance being about money. But goodness, if I had an abundance of creative inspiration within me, I would surely be able to tackle every challenge. I'd surely be able to find avenues to meet my financial needs at all costs, at all times, I should say, you know? So I think it's worthwhile to invest going to the depths of ourselves and truly connecting into abundance being something that is more than just the material. So maybe I'm talking to Capricorns that are going through that this very month and they're exploring and seeing for themselves that true freedom can be gained. Yeah, sure, there is a sense of freedom that can be gained when we are in a financial position that can afford us the lifestyle we want to live. But everyone, like, you know, there are so many of us that have experienced all sides of the coin, you know, and sometimes you have to spend money to make money. Sometimes the more money you make, the more you spend, and the more we take it for granted. You know, so there's this intermarrying theme here for you about, you know, what's crowning you as freedom. Where you're currently at, Capricorn, is abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in my physical reality. In regards to being crowned by freedom, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness, your own version of happiness. And sometimes, you know, when we've secured an amazing job, or we've whatever it is, we've got a business and it's running well, and, you know, we're experiencing material abundance, you know, there's a very real chance that comes at a cost to our time, for sure, a cost to the time we spend with our family and our loved ones. It's at a cost to our mental equilibrium sometimes, because we have to think of 101 things, you know, while we're also thinking about all the stuff at home too. So there's these new definitions and parameters, perhaps, Capricorn, that you're identifying around abundance this month. You're removing yourself and you're coming out of the energy of guilt. Now, I'm even feeling, I'm talking to Capricorns that have perhaps pushed themselves to achieve some form of abundance, you know, to make up for a lack of achievement in the past, make up for a time where, whatever the case may be, maybe you followed a path that was your call and choosing, and it went against the grain, it went against the wishes of someone important to you, because you're coming out of guilt. Maybe you were building financial abundance and sacrificing time with family and friends, or people that matter to the most to you, you know. You're moving out of the energy of guilt. So I feel like I'm really talking to Capricorns here that have experienced this confliction energy this month, and it's about, underneath all this, you know, I know I've got to work hard to make money is a deep belief that's ingrained in our society, and if I don't, I'm going to experience adversity. I've got this family I love, and if I can't provide the life for them that we have, I'm going to carry this guilt. I also feel guilty trying to push myself so much, working this job, doing this path, that's ultimately keeping me away from it. It's this conflicting juxtaposition of, I push myself so much for the ones I love, and we're so disconnected. It's come up in all the readings this month, you know, and especially in the times we're in, Cappy, like, this is the most time any of us have ever spent together. We are so used to leaving each other early in the morning, dropping kids to school, not coming back until dinner time, so disconnected from each other. And then we go off and we're on our, you know, the kids are on their iPads, we're on our phone and still taking work calls, or whatever the case may be. Like, it's this divide that exists as a very normal part of the fabric of our everyday modern life. That has all come crashing down as many, many, many of us have found ourselves at home. And I think in many ways, because I get it, Capricorns, you know what it takes out there. You know what it takes to achieve success. You're more than willing to work for that. You're more than willing to work hard to build those foundations, put in the hard yards to see that, even if it slowly builds, you know. But I think I'm speaking to Capricorns that are very much conflicted, or addressing a confliction they've perhaps even been experienced for a while, because this energy of guilt is in the background. It's been there for a while. You're doubting, though, the Capricorns I'm connecting to, you are doubting that you can achieve a lifestyle of your will and choosing that meets your family's needs, that meets your goals and desires. You're doubting that you can still have that by doing another path or taking a step back, or, you know, you're doubting that there won't be happiness because there's this risk of adversity. Now, apply it to the current situations we're in. We have been forced to not work in many circumstances. We have been forced with limited options when it comes to where we can spend our money. Yeah, there's not even any driving to do. We're not even fueling our cars up as much as we would normally. We're not going anywhere. We're not spending money on, what is essentially things that we wouldn't have we wouldn't have taken notice of how much we have spent. I'm sure many are now. How much we have wasted, how much we have how much we have taken for granted, how much we don't need, how simple life can really be with the little that we do have, and what's important, I feel like I'm speaking to a Capricorn that's really assessing just this big picture stuff, like underneath all this. This is your focus. This come up in your weekly reading for week 2. Okay, this week's reading just gone. This is your focus. Emotional fulfillment, that ideal family life, that differs for us all. This doesn't even have to apply to a Cappy that has a family, but this is emotional fulfillment. On that busy road to achieving success and defining abundance, perhaps you didn't find it emotionally fulfilling, and that's what you were looking for on a deeper level. I feel like I'm talking to Capricorns that are redefining abundance. They're definitely experiencing abundance. All this family time, it's making you feel free, and you're wanting to be free. You're wanting to be free of perhaps the burdens, and it's just this creative process you're going through this month where you're weighing up and tossing up doubt, adversity, the risk of not having, realizing we don't actually need much. We can sustain a life that feels abundant on many levels, and more importantly, it is emotional abundance you are looking for, Capricorn. This stuff cannot be bought. You cannot work your ass off and achieve this. This is you surrendering and deciding and stating and choosing. And it doesn't cost you anything. Sure, it's going to cost you perhaps some material level goals, some financial sacrifices perhaps, and maybe you realize, Capricorn, you had this all along, and that there's this guilt because you were missing out on so much of this, or you were busy building up that empire, yeah? That applies both ways. I've got goosebumps now. There is this new path to freedom, and I do want to say that as your title. There is a new path to freedom. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks, as the month closes out, that we're really working with this fear energy and transmuting it and redefining what the hell is adversity anyway. Have you got your family's health? Have you got laughter at the dinner table? Have you got time to genuinely engage in cuddles? Soft pillow talk, it's when we are lacking this, I think that is the greatest poverty. Because we, as human beings, that's our deeper desires, connectivity, connection, a full heart, Capricorn. That kind of abundance you can't put a price on. Wowing. I'm loving the first couple of weeks. I am covered in goosebumps. You know what? These energy upgrades lately have been quite interesting for me, and everyone experiences ascension upgrades in their own way. There's a lot of presence in your reading. I do want to say that I keep hearing ancestors are with you. I don't know. There's a Capricorn out there that needs to know that. Because I feel like you're carrying the weight of okay, so this is a very specific message. There is a Capricorn out there that is carrying the weight of a lineage. Maybe your parents didn't go and achieve. Maybe your parents didn't go to university or college, or maybe you were the first in your family to actually genuinely achieve abundance outside of the lower and middle class levels. I feel it's somewhat of culture though. that might be watching, because I have a strong ancestry presence that's trying to let you know. And I think you've been even experiencing some intuitive messages in the first couple of weeks, because the High Priestess is present. For the first couple of weeks of April, you've been experiencing some intuitive and psychic guidance, making some head-heart decisions, perhaps even, there was an apology that needed to be extended, is what I do want to say. But this has graduated into a more solid offer, like someone wants to offer their heart. I feel like perhaps I'm talking to Capricorns that are this could be, now listen, when these readings read out, it could apply to you or it could apply to another, if there is a significant connection that you're thinking of. Working with the energy of guilt, there's an apology in the first couple of weeks that is needing or wanting to be expressed, but is held back. Someone holds back, it's not quite the right time. Someone's, either in their head, either in their heart, or not quite in their heart. It graduates up by the second week of April, perhaps, and there's this solid offer of a commitment to a new lifestyle, a new way of being, to reignite a connection, to say sorry for perhaps not being around. So I was too busy focusing on this, is what I keep hearing. What about the Capricorn that I was just picking up on before? The Capricorn I was picking up on earlier when I mentioned ancestors, lineage. I feel like you're beating yourself up in many ways about where you should be at this stage in your life. Like and that could be you've given yourself a 5-year time frame, you've given yourself, or whatever the case may be. I just want to say though, this is the 7 of coins. Like, given who you are and your natural Capricornian goals and visions, you would have expected by now that you should be at the 10 of coins, okay? But I do want to say you're at the 7. What's 3 other coins? You're so close, is what I want to say. You are in review mode about what it is that you want to keep investing in here. I don't feel you're going to give up a career path, give up a project, give up a routine, but I do feel you are starting to become optimistic about possibilities within these first couple of weeks of April. Okay, I am picking up strongly that there's a conversation with a loved one, with a partner, with and it is in regards to apologizing for being so disconnected, is what I keep feeling here. And then, like I said, there's another Capricorn that I'm picking up on that is really pushing themselves and is now forced to redefine what freedom and abundance, adversity, all of that stuff means for them, because essentially what has been the foundation of their goals is because they are the first of their family, is what I keep hearing. I do want to say 6, 7, 9 excuse me. In the 3rd week, Capricorn, I feel you're going to get wise about something, okay? There's a wisdom lesson here, look, and I think all those themes I talked about when it comes to the energy permeating your month will be crystallized, because you'll know how to move forward in the final 2 weeks, and definitely in the last week, okay? But there's this crystallization process that happens next week for you when it comes to deeper wisdom, seeing clearly the path you want to walk moving forward, seeing clearly what you have learned, okay? The Hermit, he is wise simply because he only focuses on the here and now. He is not pressuring himself with a 10-year plan. He's not guilting himself for the last 10 years or how he's functioned for the last 5 years. He is focused on the here and now. He has recalibrated and released doubt, okay? He's moved away from guilt. He is focused on what abundance means for him, and he's finding that here, okay? Listen, but I do want to say, next week, while you're doing that on a deeper level, there's also something where your name, you're going to become aware and recognize some shifty. So the Seven of Swords is like a strategic card, okay? It's self-centered behavior. It is an action where things are taken without others knowing. It is hidden. It is things done in secret. It could be communications in secret. It could be someone's intentions, genuine, you know, intentions aren't communicated. You're going to recognize how this energy has been permeating. That might be in a connection, that might be an individual that's involved in your life, like an acquaintance, a work colleague. It might be, when I talk about it as an energy, it might be you recognizing that in order to be so strategic in life, to achieve goals and the strategies I've implemented to get me to where I am. I'm not calling you shady. I'm just saying sometimes life demands that we have to get strategic, not discounting the fact that sometimes we have to get really shadowy and strategic. That definitely happens, because I do call this my narcissistic card as well. There are Capricorns that are recognizing how this energy no longer serves them, whether that energy permeates within you, whether it's around in your circles, within friendship groups, within your career, within your workplace, within your genuine approach where you pressure yourself to achieve and be really strategic about what abundance means for you. You are recognizing this role that this has played in your life, and you're becoming wise about it. It's an interesting energy combination, Capricorn, because I feel, and I can say it in so many different ways, you are becoming aware of an individual that perhaps has not had great intentions, someone that you are connected to in some form. I'm not going to say, I mean, I could look at the whole reading for the month and say, you know, there's an apology that's required here, whether from you, whether from another, about strategic behavior, shifty behavior, because someone knew something was up. Anyway, and there's this decision, you know, this head-heart decision, choice between two. That could also permeate as an energy where, you know, within a connection, we know something's bothering someone. We know that they're reacting in a certain way, but underneath all it, there's some deeper stuff going on, you know, and we're having to be strategic with not wanting to touch on a core topic that we just need to talk about. That's recognition, okay? So many ways it can play out, because it sort of sits here as a standalone. It sits here as a standalone. So for Capricorns out there with life, it may be just this sudden thing that you become aware of, but you don't, the way the month ends, you don't not benefit, okay? It's not a massive disruption. It actually helps provide some deeper wisdoms, if anything. And so I could look at that if that plays out within an acquaintance connection or a friendship. Well, I was sort of a bit sus anyway. I'm now getting crystal clear about the kind of people I want in my life. I'm recognizing what is and isn't healthy and what I do and don't want to connect to, yeah? I don't feel like it's a massive, there's not a lot of heavy energy around it or with it. So I felt more that I needed to focus on the fact that it was more a strategic approach to life in order to achieve abundance, Capricorn. I'm becoming aware and I'm recognizing how I don't need to even feel like this. Now, the Seven of Swords has a very typical, that, you know, lies, deception, kind of ill-intention kind of vibe to it. Like I said, narcissistic kind of tendencies. However, if you look at it, like, this is us in our mainstream world, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and like, it's, I love my family and I want to be with them, and look at this card. There's no pressure or stress in this image. Genuine connectivity, but how much can we actually say that genuinely happens at 5:30 on an afternoon after work in the middle of the week, and we've still got another 3-4 days ahead of us of the same routine? Let's be real. Sometimes we're feeling like we have to rob Peter to pay Paul. Like, I want to live in this beautiful house. I want to have this lifestyle. I want to have that car, that boat, whatever the case may be. And I'm doing everything I'm doing for my family. But all the stuff I have to carry and be strategic and, you know, That's another way to look at the Seven of Swords anyway. That's how I'm feeling that it's picking up in this reading. It's funny. There's a progressive energy here that you crystallize a wisdom, okay? So 6, 7. There's a progressive energy here, Capricorn, where you're crystallizing a wisdom and you are really addressing the seeds of doubt that have been within you for far too long, okay? It's like you're preparing for the worst, and that's why you build yourself up and push yourself so much. And you know, sure, maybe we were raised in families where that adversity was a very real, real reality experience. And so that Capricorn I was connecting to before, you know, your ancestors are with you, like you are the first of your family to achieve what you have achieved. Adversity was reversed when I pulled it out, you know. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. You more than anyone, Capricorn, you know, I'll show you a mountain, you'll show me a bigger one that you've already climbed. There is nothing that you cannot achieve when you set your mind to it. You are earth, stability, commitment, dedication. You're all of that personified. I really feel like I need to tell a Capricorn that's listening here, if you're doing this because you are the first in your family, you're pushing yourself because you're wanting to make ancestors proud, family proud, you already have, because what you have now, you're already abundant. Now I feel like crying. You have achieved so much, you have come so far, more than anyone else ever has before you. And this was actually all grown from your own wisdom. It wasn't shown to you. No elder, no relative, no mentor came to you and said, hey, Cappy, this is how you do it. You actually built everything, you grew everything. Everything you have ever achieved was actually because of adversity, whether you were grown in it, whether you had experienced it, whether you have experienced failure and you had to work out that's what we don't do. Whatever it was adversity that was your wisest guide and teacher. Wow. This is really significant for a Capricorn that's listening. Look at it. Look at it closely. It is a lighthouse. Well, not, you know, it looks like a lighthouse. You have been your very own lighthouse. You are the lighthouse for others that are watching you, the little ones, the generations that are coming after you. You are a lighthouse for others that are crossing your path, that want to follow the same path that you have been on. You are a lighthouse. Do not doubt yourself. What's that saying? Those with the biggest doubt are the most capable, or something. You know what I mean. God, you're a lighthouse. I know I keep saying that, but you are an inspiration. You are in the dark when no one else had done it before you, in your family, in whatever community means to you, in your culture, I feel a very strong spirit presence tonight while I'm doing your reading, and that activated as soon as I started to think of a particular Capricorn that is perhaps the first in their family. So whether it's a relative that has passed on, a grandmother, grandfather figure, an auntie, I just felt a strong spirit presence, and I felt like I had to say, you are already successful. Now I feel like crying. You are already successful, and they are so very proud of how far you have come. Okay, but the nitty gritty of this month, you're going to make me cry, Gabby. All right. Emotional fulfillment. Family is what is motivating you, is what forms the basis of every desire you've ever had that loosely or strictly defines abundance. And I think you are creating some redefinitions around abundance this month. You're also addressing your fears around doubts and adversity. You're releasing guilt, because what crowns you is freedom. You are going to end the month feeling free, and you're going to feel strong in the direction that you are going to be traveling. You might be connected to a Cancer, okay? July might be significant for you, okay? But when the Chariot shows up, you are moving forward, no doubt. You've crystallized some wisdom. You've gotten clear, and you can see what is needed, okay? When it comes to mastering these lessons, you are charging forward, balanced and guided by the wisdom of all the challenges, the dark path, the dark experiences, and the light. You know, in the background, there's a kingdom there. You know, the chariot driver, he's crowned. His crown is a star. He's empowered. Look at all that solar plexus energy. You know, he's surrounded by the sunlight and clarity. He's dry. This is not just slow moving. It's very, very fast. Okay, it's this reactivation and revitalization of whatever the King of Wands means for you at this time. The King of Wands traditionally is that divine spark and feeling like, you know, I know you're an earth sign, but, you know, this is about connecting into the sacral chakra energy, that creative energy where we are creating change and feeling ahead of the game. And this is sensuality and feeling strong in our confidence and confidently moving forward, confidently going for what we want, confidently knowing what our direction is to start some new beginnings. I wouldn't doubt if there's some Capricorns out there that are completely restructuring their work commitments, their business commitments, their lifestyles and routines to truly address their ideal path moving forward. And it's centered on the family. It's centered on you doing a very good review of how far you truly have come, what you have achieved. And I do want to say, if there are applications that have been made, if you're looking at reducing your hours, if you're looking at starting a business, if you're looking at getting another job, whatever the case may be, there is an offer this week. You are recognized next week. So if something crystallizes next week, I do want to say, avoid strategies that make you feel like you have to be old world competitive. Just be authentic, be yourself. Your wisdom, your experience will shine through 100%, okay? Is what I want to say. Because by the end of the month, it's all systems go. Let's see what the tarot wants to say when it tells the story. Look at this. You've heard the trumpet. When the judgment card shows up, we are in full resus mode, like resurrection, I should say. Everything's coming to the surface to be reviewed. Everything. Deep beliefs, past pain. We're going back to blueprint about why we're doing all this for. Who is it all for? You know, we're either feeling judged. We're judging another. The trumpet has called on something too. You know, there's no more of this juggling. You're very clear about what you want to focus on. Look at the 10 of coins. You've got the 10 of cups and the 10 of coins. This is the dynasty. This is marriage. This is for the family. You know, no more juggling, no more negotiating what goes into that. You're getting crystal clear about what that means for you and the pathway to there in order to create those provisions and provide a life for those you love. How much you don't need to invest, how little they need, all that sort of stuff. No more juggling, a crazy routine, crazy lifestyle. That's what this month is offering you, this reassessment. It's a big awakening. You're doing something massive, something different. You're completely upending your whole routine, your whole life. I wouldn't be surprised if you're quitting a job. This is about you being self-sufficient, starting a business, quitting a job, starting a business. There we go. Being satisfied with how much you've achieved. You really do deserve to pat yourself on the back. Okay, because I know what the Cappy energy is like. You push. You just, you know, tomorrow's another day. We're not quite there yet, but this is satisfaction. This is genuine, authentic. I'm proud of myself and what I have achieved. You know, you are the lighthouse for many others that are watching. You're getting crystal clear this month. And you know what you're getting crystal clear on? Some higher principles. Whether you call yourself spiritual or not, this is a practically soulful reading, so maybe, of course you do. This is some crystal clear clarity on some higher principles at play here. This is a karmic balancing even, is what I want to say. You might even get advice from someone you consider a religious or spiritual practitioner, okay? It is an end of conflict, and it's about you coming into yourself, whether you are male or female. I could go on. There's just too much here. I feel like you are really walking away from some hectic energy, from a hectic lifestyle, ways of doing things. You're really addressing what's needed in order to start anew, you know. And I feel like I even see like there's Capricorns that are doing big closet clear outs, and because that's your old clothes, your old, you know, going through old boxes and doing a big, like I see big clear outs. And when we do that on the physical, it happens psychologically, emotionally. That's what this month feels like. It's about you stepping into this manifestation mode, and what you create between now and 9 months, because yes, the Empress is a pregnant lady. You may be pregnant. This could be news. Just going to put that out there. Yeah, look at that abundance. But this is feeling abundant, feeling completely capable to manifest whatever lifestyle I want. I am starting a project and I'm going to manifest that in the next 9 months. I am growing something from nothing, this new lifestyle, this new me, this new version of me. I'm coming into myself. And you're not moving slowly, you are charging. You're really setting firm foundations in the last week of April, and it's activating that divine fire and passion again. You know, you are being seen. There's something, I don't know if you do anything out in the public arena or if you're just talking to family and friends about this new plan, new vision. You are an inspiration. You have been, you are, and you will be. I keep hearing that. You have come a long way, and you know what? For those that I was picking up on that have relatives and perhaps loved ones that have passed on, they are more than, now I'm going to feel like crying again, they are more than proud of you. Okay. This feels good. Keep track of your weekly readings to see how they marry up too, okay? I hope you enjoyed your practically soulful for April. Capricorn. May shouldn't be too far away. I hope you and your family are well. Take care.